The education system continues to be a hot topic, not only nationwide, but locally.
Mark Powell is newly elected to the San Diego County Board of Education, and he's here now to talk about what he hopes to achieve. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I know one thing that you hope to achieve is educating people about what exactly the county school board does.
The County Board of Education is one of the most obscure districts. There are 42 districts in San Diego, and the county office is responsible for oversight of all of their budgets. So they approve all of the district's budgets, and they also run the juvenile courts and community schools. So when a child is arrested for whatever reason, the county takes over the role in the juvenile hall, and the community schools, if they're expelled from a district, they also run those community schools.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot of support during the campaign from people who support, obviously, charter schools, yet the number of those schools seem to be few and far between, something like, what, 16%, I think it is, in the county. Why are charter schools, why haven't they been approved? Why aren't we seeing more of them?
I asked the same question. There are some charter schools that are very successful. I can give you an example. High-Tech High School, very successful charter schools. In fact, there's a waiting list to get into these charters. It's the application process. It takes some time. It's reviewed by the district that they apply for. Now, what people really don't understand is a charter school is a public school. They just run with some looser strings. So, for example, if they wanted to adopt a different math curriculum than what the school districts have adopted, they can adopt their own curriculum. But make no mistake, they are public schools running under a charter with the various
Teachers
districts.
Unions oppose charter schools. I mean, is that one of the reasons we're not seeing more of them?
You know, they haven't came right out and said that they oppose charter schools, but the teachers unions lobbied heavily against me when I was running for office, and I suspect that charter schools may be one of the reasons why they did so.
You are now the only Republican on the Board of Education. You had three basic mandates in running. Talk about those.
Well, one was term limits, and it's unusual for any one person to be in any public office for 20-something years. You had San Diego Unified School District had John DeBeck on 20-something years, and John Witt was on the San Diego County Board of Education for an extended period of time. So what I did was I wrote an article called Term Limits for School Boards, and the UT polled it. 90% of the people polled agreed that there should be term limits. That's one thing I was running on.
Budgets was also something that
Budgets
you were...
was very important. Look at school budgets, and there's some school districts, I'm not going to name any, but surprisingly enough, they're going to make a lot of news in the next few months because their budgets are not in order. Mm-hmm. And I also ran on school safety. I believe, being a parent with an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old in public schools, when I send my child to school, I want to make sure that they're safe. So I think there needs to be a lot of enhancement in safety and still focus a lot on that bullying, anti-bullying programs.
Back to term limits for just a minute. You're the only Republican on the board. How do you propose to get the other trustees to go along with you on supporting term limits?
Great question. I can tell you how. The candidate who I replaced, Greg Robinson, ran his campaign 4 years ago on term limits. He said no person should be in office in his ballot statement for over 20 years. So it's my opinion that even the people on the board, the other trustees, feel the same way. That person I'm replacing felt the same way. However, nothing was ever done to implement it. I plan to do stuff to implement that.
We'll be watching Mark Powell, newly elected to the San Diego County Board of Education.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Great to see you. Thanks.